Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show.
Camp! Good morning. Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley. And yes, it is camp time. Camp repeat begins today. Guys report, they'll go through the conditioning test, and then tomorrow on the field for some work. This is the great. All 90 players under contract, ready to go. No holdouts, no drama, just work to get to the repeat. It's going to be awesome. Awesome stuff. Cannot wait. The 2025 season begins in earnest today. It's here. And then pretty soon, you never know, at some point, we'll get back to football, real football. Oh, man, this is the greatest. Thank you. Camp has begun. Man, this is going to be a great time. I'm just looking at the Eagles' depth chart. And, every training camp, there's always a story. Like, what's the position battles? Where are they at? And this is a special one for the Eagles because the rings came out, right? They look great. They're just incredible looking. And this is all about, can they repeat? Can they get back to where they once were and duplicate or replicate last year? And the answer is yes. I mean, unequivocally, yes. They're that good. And you look at the positions going into camp and what battles you're going to have. And, offense, you're there, right? It's the same group on offense. When you look at the depth chart, Jalen, Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Dotson's your third receiver, your WR3 for now. Goddard back, which I think is a huge deal. And that great offensive line, Mailata, Dickerson, Juergens, Steen, the only switch up from last year in place of Becton, and Lane, the stalwart at right tackle. So your offense is pretty much intact. You're going to look at, what's happened at the backup running spot because you don't want to get to Saquon and look and just pound Saquon constantly. So we're going to look at Shipley more. Shipley will be a big, I think, training camp, preseason kind of. Let's see what he's got. You got A.J. Dillon, the big veteran back for you. Now, the one area where you're a little thin is at wide receiver. We'll see about Terrence Marshall. I'm not buying Johnny Wilson. I mean, it's a good story, right? Can anybody else step up? That's going to be kind of where they're at receiver-wise. You got Marshall, you got Aeneas Smith, and then you got, Elijah Cooks, Danny Gray, Taylor Morin, Giles Jackson. And who's going to step up? If there's one weakness in depth, it's at wide receiver. Right? I think we all agree because even Dotson as your third, I mean, look, had a big catch in the Super Bowl, right? I still think he's fine as your three, but you're pretty thin after your big boys, right? Defense is where we're going to look at, right? Because we know we're losing BG yesterday. We shot the Cooper Dejean and Reed Blankenship show, and BG was here. And I got a chance to talk to him for an hour, BSing, and it was, we're going to miss him, man. Going to miss his presence, the whole thing. So here's what you're looking at. You're looking at inside, you're good, right? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, obviously. Nolan Smith and Moro Ojomo on the outside. You're going to have Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean when he gets healthy. Azeez Ojulari, will be interesting to see where he's at. And your secondary, it's all about the safeties, right? Because we know we got Quinyon, the right cornerback with Kaylee Ringo. That's going to be something to look at. You got Reed at strong safety. Does Makuba, and I think he starts, I think he's going to right away take Sidney Brown out. I think Makuba's the guy they're going to look for. And knowing Vic Fangio, he's a guy that likes his players, right? Like, he likes your guy. Like, it's funny, I relate to him. It's like, do I like this guy? If I like him, I'm going to go to war with him. Is he loyal? Is he talented? I'm going to go to war with him. I kind of, and that's Nakobe, right? Like, I think he's going to see this kid. It's one of his draft picks. I think Nakobe's going to win that. And then Cooper, right, who's just all over the field. So you need Cooper on the outside. You need Cooper at slot, right? You need Cooper at some safety. You got Cooper kind of as a whole perfect, can play any position in a defensive backfield. I mean, this is a big, a huge, I look at their roster defensively, and, Ty Robinson should have a big play, right? Can anybody else step up on the line? They're going to need to know that. You got Jahad Campbell that should be on the field. We'll see how long it takes for him to get involved in action. And you got Trot Jr. And I love Jalix Hunt. I'm expecting Hunt and Ty Robinson to get a ton of snaps. I think Hunt has a big year.
Hut, 1, 2, set, hut. Let's go. This is your time, buddy.
I know, you got the hat on for me.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, I will say, good win last night. I never saw...
Cute win last night. Let's go. It's football.
I never saw a walk-off catcher's interference. I guess it was 52 years since the last one.
Yes.
That happened.
In MLB.
In MLB.
There was one last year in minor league. You know who was involved?
No.
Otto Kemp.
We'll get to the fight, and Jimmy Stakes is going to join us, so we'll dive into the fights. I mean, it's the same story leading up to the deadline. We good team. Can they hit?
Yep.
I mean, that's just going to be, we saw it over the weekend, right? Can they hit?
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big thing. Who's the reliever they get?
Yeah.
Who's the bat they get?
Yep.
That's the whole
That's all
story
we're waiting for.
leading up to July 31. But it is camp day. It's a big day. Oh, man. I woke up today fired up.
Like 4:30? What time did you get up?
I was
pounding some raw eggs, going out and doing some push-ups.
I was at I dropped Massimo off at St. Joe Prep football camp.
All right. What time does he start camp?
They start at 9.
All right.
So they're just underway.
A little late, is it?
I dropped them
a
off.
little soft on the boys. 9 o'clock. I mean, what is this?
They were there at 8 because I dropped Massimo off this
right.
morning, and they were there at 8. Right on 11.
Are you okay with that?
More.
Shouldn't it be like a 6:15 a.m.? Like, let's go. Let's get it in. No? Like,
I was this clock. I'll tell you a quick story.
Yeah, this
right.
is a little.
So I have Anthony working out with a guy, trainer, right? And it was at 6 a.m.
That sounds about right.
This morning.
Yeah.
And Ant goes, and it's the only thing, it was far. Like where the gym is, it's a good 40 minutes from my house. And I was like, "Do you want to go? I'll take you."
Is it like a group thing?
No.
So it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
All right.
And we decided to go Thursday in the afternoon. I was going to take him.
Man,
I'm like,
dude, it sounded soft, Ant.
I know. I was going to take him. I'm like,
it's got to be hot in the afternoon. Oh, it's inside?
Yeah, it's inside. I was like, do I feel like getting up at 4:45? Me to take him? I'm like, dude, I've had a week. I mean, South Carolina, Ubers and planes and cars. I mean, it's been like a whirlwind week with baseball and all kinds of tournaments and everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm good today. Let's just focus on football and
who was the lunatic who like used to massage his infant kids and never gave them sugar? Who was that guy's name?
Rabinovich?
Yeah. Would he get up? He'd be getting up. Let's go. Pots and pans. Let's go.
Pots and pans. All right. What do you think
about the Birds?
Camp repeat.
I like can't repeat. I don't like what I'm hearing from Franny and Zach and everybody about they're gonna come out passing. I don't want to hear that. I want camp rerun, as someone had mentioned in our chat.
Yeah, I like camp rerun. Yeah,
run it back the exact same way. I'm good.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
You know, I know that we've been talking about this. In fact, we had Zach on, and he and I debated this quite a couple times in the offseason.
Yeah,
about this idea that you're going to go in and suddenly you're going to throw the football.
That's what Franny said yesterday with us. That's what he expects. They're going to come out throwing. I don't understand why. To protect Saquon, we know there's going to be a drop off in production. He's not going to have a 2,000 yard year again, but I don't know. If A.J. Dillon's healthy, he's a big back, and there's not a lot of contact going on. It just works. I feel like if they come on passing, week 4, we're going to be right back to where we were running the ball.
Well, the good thing is, here's the thing. If it doesn't work, you can lean on the run game.
Yeah.
So you want to try it? Go ahead. Try it.
I don't even.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to try it, like see, maybe find some magic in that way.
I guess we know what works. We know what destroyed the NFL last year.
But the beauty is that you have it to go back to. Like, that's in your pocket.
It's in the pocket. I don't want to go through 2 or 3 weeks where it's like, oh, see, he can't throw 30 times a game. I don't want to hear it. Just do what we did. It was easy.
Yeah,
we steamrolled.
Again, I'm curious. New OC, right? Maybe there's some wrinkles where Jalen can feed AJ and Devontae. I mean, look, I'm not against it. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I've debated that with Zach, but listen, you want to try it and see what happens. I mean, now's the time to do that is the start of the season.
So, like, Franny's saying he thinks it's going to be because of to keep Saquon healthy. Is it that, or is it, all right, we won that way? You got a lot of egos. A lot of these offensive guys don't like to run the ball. You got wide receivers, you got tight ends, you got quarterback, got coordinators. They want to be flashy coordinators and stuff.
Well, the quarterback wants to throw.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he said that a lot of times during those veiled kind of shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's pretty much told you that he wants to throw the football.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's the most interesting thing for me going into camp right now is I guess we'll see eventually.
I mean,
what the scheme looks like.
I mean, you got Goddard, AJ, and Devontae, right?
Yeah.
And with Saquon out of the backfield. So having that, you should be able to throw the football.
Yeah, you should. I like running the ball.
No, I know we like running. We're Philadelphia. We like running the ball. But they could add, I don't know, 10% more throwing. And I think you become even more balanced and more dangerous.
I just look at what did they won by a combined like 90 points in the championship game in the Super Bowl. Just
right, but
how much better can you get? How much better can you get?
From perspective, though, it's hard to replicate that. Like, that was what they did last year.
Yeah,
was unheard of. They became a big play run team. Big play run team. We've never seen that really in the history of football. We've seen ground and pound, big plays off the ground and pound, but never a true big play run team.
Never.
And that's what they were.
I didn't even know it was possible.
So we didn't. And so defenses will adjust. It happens every year, right? Tape, coordinators adjust. And the adjustment's going to be, hey, we're going to load up the box and let's see you beat us. And they're going to say, all right, well, we're going to throw the ball.
Oh, well, I hope it works, but I really enjoy just running it down every once in a while.
It'll be interesting about what happens at right guard, because in the run game, Becton was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to lose a little bit that right guard spot with Steen, assuming he wins that gig.
I don't know. Maybe we will. Stoutland's here. Becton never played guard before, and suddenly he was a beast.
But he was a body type. He was a road grader.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve's not Becton when it comes to that. So you got to expect a little bit of drop off in the run game from that side. That right side was unbelievable between Lane and Becton, because Becton was so big.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if there's anyone I believe in, it's Stoutland. So, know what I'm saying.
Without a doubt. But again, I think it's a pretty obvious statement when you look at that right side of the line. I mean, it was just pushing people.
Yeah. Run the ball, dude. Run the ball. I can't believe I'm the one.
It's yet to begin, and we've already begun.
Camp's begun, right?
Run the ball.
Yes.
Run the ball. Run the ball.
I'm a simple man. If it works, you keep doing it until it doesn't work.
Well, again, but it's okay to be ahead of the curve. One of the things that we saw is that, and this has been true for the last 10 years, ever since Chip Kelly, You just can't come in with the same plan to start a season. We saw Chip Kelly's production go from here on an incremental slide downward.
Yeah, but he was like a gimmick. This is just old school football. We beat you up.
Right, but you still have to adjust. You still always have to adjust.
I don't know.
You always have to add new wrinkles. That's why, listen, again, I to appease you and me, because I've debated Zach about this. If it doesn't work, you have something to fall back on. You can go and run and more
a fair point.
into more of a run-oriented team.
Yeah, I don't want to become.
I don't want
to become a passing team.
Well, they're never going to be. Listen, with Saquon and that O-line, they're never going to be a full-blown throw the ball. Like, nobody wants talking about throwing the ball 40 times a game.
There are some people.
Nah.
They like to see that little flash.
Nobody's throwing it 40 times a game. You're not throwing it 40 times. You're not,
I hope not.
Like, you don't need to. Now, you could throw it 28 times.
All right. That's like
right?
28 and a half is the over-under.
I was going to say
downward to 30.
Anywhere between 28 and 32.
I want to hit 30.
28 and 32 is the window.
That means we're probably behind. 28 should be the max.
I mean, again, they might throw early and run late. Like that, Andy, one of the misnomers is that Andy was pass all the time. And that wasn't true. Like, he would throw early and run late.
Can you bring up Andy? Can I just say we can't play it because there's music in it? They have the trailer for the Chiefs series because they were going to have a docuseries about them three-peating.
Right.
So they have to release it anyway. In the trailer there's a little piece of Andy like crying over the Super Bowl. Oh, did I love it?
He was weeping?
Yeah, he had a little tearing up talking about the Super Bowl loss. Ooh, what a way to start a day. What a way. It only got better than I walked my dogs and there was a dude with a Sox hat on walking by me. I was like, tough one last night. He's like, man. I was like, oh, this is a great day.
You know what's funny? You bring up the Sox, right? What was it? You were at the game last night?
Yes.
What was the temperature? Because I always hated when the Red Sox would come to town. It started like early 2000s. And all those Fugazi Red Sox fans, all from Philadelphia.
Yep.
Like a buddy of mine, great baker, retired, lives in Florida now, Lou Carangi.
Oh, sure.
Right? Carangi Bakery.
Yeah.
Right? Lou started Carangi Bakery.
Man.
Right? Oh, yeah. He used to have a flag outside the bakery. Literally, he had a flag outside the bakery on 12th and Oregon.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last night wasn't bad. It was like 10% maybe Sox fans. Quiet they were. They were nothing.
Well, they stink. Like they're not
nothing
good
like
team,
the Yanks come in, the Mets come in, the Dodgers come in. They're all.
But there was always. I love my niece Domenica. They were at the game, and this is when the Red Sox thing was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was a little girl, and she had her glove right in the outfield, and there was a Red Sox, like, obnoxious lady fan.
Oof.
And she turned around and it was jabber with her. I loved it.
Oh, man. She with the Sox accent, too?
Yeah, it's something like, you're in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is a lot of, I always hated the Red Sox fans became like Dallas fans light.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Whole Beantown thing. Like,
yeah, they were like, oh, Red Sox.
They're my American League team. Yeah, they're my American League.
American League team. No.
The A's are your American League team.
You can't have an American League team. No, you can't have any American League team. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Can't have it.
So it was glorious. Great night. Fantastic way to end the game. I'm still it would have been way better if there was a swing off in the 10th inning, maybe. So, I think I'm going one inning of extra innings in case we see something magical like that. 11th inning's got to be the swing off. But yeah, it's a great
100% agree.
Yeah. I would have loved to. I mean, the place would have been electric for a swing off last night.
I hate the swing off.
Of course you do.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's a horrible idea.
It was so much
It's
fun.
a horrible way to decide. It's such a horrible game. It's for a non-sportsman.
No. You see them wheeling out the batting, pitching, the net, so the guy gets protected. You know it's
Get
coming.
you fired up when the net's coming out.
Like an entrance song for that net.
Yeah.
Wheel out.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
The March of the Valkyries coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, man. It's a different world. It's not 1950. We all got 3 jobs. We're grinding. We're tired. You got to get these games over with.
That's why you have a Ghost Runner at second.
Yeah, well, that's 2 gimmicks. That's no fun. It's a stupid gimmick. This is a good gimmick to swing on.
It stinks. It's like a shootout. It's terrible. It's a terrible idea.
It's great for the regular season.
Awful.
The place would have been electric last night for this.
Who cares? Stupid place electric. Get the hell. Listen, the Schwarber doing that with the 3 was great for that one moment. It's such a non-baseball thing. It's for feeble-minded people.
Feeble-minded I am. Call me feeble all you want. Give me 1 inning of extra baseball.
You're already starting. I can't stand you.
Omaha won. Omaha. All
right, let's talk about some of our friends. Let's talk about Rothman. I was going over the bridge yesterday, and I saw the Rothman billboard.
Oh, I was going to say you got a kink in your neck or something.
No. I was going over I was going over the bridge, the Walt Whitman Bridge. We had a nice day. Like, we had camp. Then we came here for the Cooper Reed show.
Oh, nice.
And everybody was here. Kelsey, Jason was here. BG was here.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So it was a lot of fun. So Moss got to hang with those guys. And then afterwards, I took him to Pop's Water Ice and Skinny Joey Steaks.
Oh, was Joey there?
Yeah. Yeah. So Moss had a great day yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like kid dream, right?
Yeah.
You go to St. Joe Prep Football Camp.
Mm-hmm.
You come here, you see Cooper and Reed and Kelsey and BG, and then you go get Pop's Water Ice and it's Skinny Joe Steaks. Come on, all right? So I'm driving over to Walt Whitman Bridge, and I see the Rothman billboard, and we keep you in motion.
Yeah.
And I was just looking, I was like, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Keep our producer, Andrew, the whole thing. All right, and look, they talk about getting you back to what you love, right? Whether it's biking by the Schuylkill, chasing your kids through the sprinkler, tacking that hiking trail you've wanted to do, right? Playing ball in the driveway, baseball, softball, right? Whatever it is at the field. It's tough when your body doesn't cooperate, and that's where Rothman Orthopedics comes in. From aches and pains after a pickup game to old injuries flaring up during summer adventures, Rothman's team of experts is here to help. They have evidence-based care, a commitment to restoring your mobility, and they're going to get you back out there stronger than ever, all right? Don't let pain put your summer on pause. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today. Get back to doing what you love, pain-free. That's right. Rothman Orthopedics, getting you back to your summer game is their mission. Now, Pico. Anthony Gargano, PHLY, VG. My brother, you look hot.
Dude.
I mean, I feel kind of hot too, to be honest with you.
Dude, my house is like a sauna meets a steam room. It's insane. This heat's unbearable.
Well, look, this Philly heat is no joke. It's summertime, man.
Dude, if I could tell you, I stood with my head in the freezer for 10 minutes before I left the house today. Disaster.
Brother, just turn on the AC. How come you just don't turn on your air conditioner?
Trying to save some cash, man. Save the world. Save the climate. Go green. All that stuff.
Listen, I feel you. Do yourself a favor. I got your answer.
All right.
Like, do it solid. Check out Pico's energy saving rebates. All right. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and cut your bills.
So you're telling me no more freezer head?
No, not unless you want to look like a freezer head.
No. This is great news.
I'm serious. You're good, man. Trust me. Just head to pico.com/ways to save. They got tips for everything. Heating, cooling, lighting, you name it. It's Pico. We love Pico.
I'm in.
Pico.
Pico.
All right, it's camp day, so we're looking forward to a lot of fun from now Until next February, it's football season. Bless you. I count this as beginning in football. All right. And joining us from the All Eagles show, All PHLY Eagles show, we love him, our man, Bo Wolf.
Jimmy Steaks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm already on Eagle mode.
Hey, you already skipping past the Phils.
I
Come
know,
on, man.
I know. It's terrible.
Give us seam heads. Give us seam heads our time, man.
Jimmy, I'm sorry.
Wow.
The great Jimmy Steaks. I apologize.
Might I remind you it is baseball season.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you.
And,
Dude.
and it's only just starting to heat up.
I have.
And
I've
they're
been
over there
baseball
across
overload over the last
across the
couple
street.
weeks.
They're handing out the shoulder pads today. Relax.
If there's anyone who can dampen his spirits about football, it's you, Jimmy. You have that way.
No, I'm psyched. I want to see them
You're not
repeat.
psyched. You're not psyched.
I'm
It's
psyched. I want
camp
to see them
day.
repeat.
What do you want? It's camp.
Camp day.
Camp. Opening camp.
What is
is a big deal?
You know
Here,
why he's psyched? He's
here's
like,
your shoulder
they'll stop.
pads.
They're gonna
Here's
reach out
your-
to me less to come on the show because there's football now. That's why he's psyched.
How'd your Red Sox do
like-
last night?
They're not my team anymore.
it's
But
the
you know,
Dodgers.
like
We know
always
that.
your team. Don't forget. They're always your team. No matter your first love is you may suppress it because you're a professional, but deep down in the core of that blue shirt,
I'm really not. That was the team of my youth, and those were my heroes. But
Yaz,
I don't. Yeah,
Rice,
Yaz was my guy.
Jim Rice.
I loved
Palmer.
Freddie Lynn, Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, Rico Petrocelli.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Let me ask you a
I mean, I
question.
go.
All seriously, a philosophical question. So we got into this because we love sports. Absolutely. I love it as much as I did when I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like switching markets? Like not working in your, because I went to New York and you do your job. Do you ultimately become converted?
No, I don't know that I'm a fan of any team. I like the sport.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about being a fan, but deep down,
You get immersed in the market. Yeah, I mean, I've been here over 30 years. You know.
Yeah.
And I know what the Eagles culture is like, and I know what the Phillies and the Flyers and the Sixers. I know though I'm not a native, that's a long time to be somewhere 30 years. And you really
I agree.
get a feel
No, listen, 30 years you become a native, right? That's it. You choose to raise your family here.
Yeah, my kids were born here, so I know what makes this town tick. But I'm not a fan, but I am immersed in the culture of the sporting culture of the community. I know what makes it tick, and I know the energy, and it's awesome. It's like I joke. They're handing out the shoulder pads today, but people are fired up because it's just the same day.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm thrilled. Like I love it. I love it.
I was I've heard the Eagles chant in church. I mean,
Right.
it's crazy. People get fired up for schedule day. So I totally understand it. And I don't think you have to be a fan of one and not the other. It's just it's a great. It's like you always say, the 4-for-4 stuff. It's
right,
and it even extends to some great college basketball and other sports around here. So it's a great, if you like sports, this is a great place to be. So is Boston, so is New York, so is Chicago, so is LA.
Yeah. But it's funny because we're talking about baseball this season. I go through these periods. I'm so into it in end of March, April, beginning of the season, right? Going nuts, watching every game I can because you miss it. And then you're watching, and then you're in. You're in. And then once you hit July, August, you start to get fatigued, right?
Yeah, it's a long season.
And then as you ramp up into September, once you get to pennant race, and then October is the greatest. That month where it's baseball pitch by pitch is the best. It's now this month, right, leading into the dog days of August, which is true.
Well, the trade deadline certainly does spice things up because, there's two ways. So either you're getting rid of guys or you're adding guys. And when you're adding guys, you have a good team and you're excited to see who's coming aboard and you're excited to see what the final 2 months and then hopefully the third month look like. So, baseball does have these little checkpoints throughout the season, pitchers and catchers, opening day, Memorial Day checkpoint. Then you get some dog days, but then the trade deadline comes and then the stretch drive. So I think there's a lot of exciting periods in baseball, but it's an everyday serial. It's like an everyday chapter in a big novel. And,
Yes.
when your team is good, it's really exciting because you kind of get up and you can't wait to see what's going to happen that night. What's going to happen in that next chapter. Even if you're only like skim reading, if you're that type of fan, it's still exciting to see what happened that night and they're still in it. And when they're not in it, it's like playing a bad round of golf. You can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. So what are you hearing? Anything? What's the scuttlebutt? You were down there yesterday.
They're going to do something. They're going to, they added David Robertson. They're pounding the pavement. I've told you this. I think they need 3 relievers. Looks like they got 1. I think they'll get a second from the rotation. They still, in my opinion, need to go out there and get that big dominant arm, and I think they're committed to doing that. They could also use a right-handed bat. This is nothing new. We've talked about this all off season. And lately that need has been more pronounced. I mean, since June 1st, they're only 500 and, they've scored 2 or fewer runs 15 times. So Bohm is out. They need their guys to step up offensively, but they really could use that right-handed bat. There are a couple difference makers out there, but they're not good fits because, of the position they play and the fact that Phillies are very locked in with their DH. Now, if they want to move Kyle Schwarber to left field, might open up some possibilities, sacrifice some defense for some offense. So what am I hearing? It's going to be a wild next 10 days, probably go right to the end. I think the Phillies are going to get a big arm at the back of the bullpen, another arm to pair with Robertson, Kirkring, Strom. Lazar's doing a really nice job. And I do think they're going to get some type of a bat. I'm not sure what. I mean, I have some ideas. My mind is, my imagination is running a little bit.
Ideas. What are your ideas? Because they desperately need, obviously back in bullpen is 1A is a bat. And you've just seen it, over the struggles, because even though Bohm's out, you still can't count on Bohm. So, and Bohm can't protect Bryce. So
he can protect him better than what they got now. He can protect him better than what they got now. He is a 300 hitter. I think he does bring something. I agree. The slug has not been there. Look, the guy who was in town over the weekend, that Taylor Ward, I mean, he did a job on the Phillies.
I know.
Possibly. We
brought that up to you months ago.
Yeah, we talked to him all last year. And every name we're going to talk about, we've been talking about for over a year. There are no secrets. I would love to get Bautista and maybe Laureano as a marginal bat from Baltimore. Look, it would be great to take Byron Buxton with the year he's having and cement him in the right-handed bat in the middle of the order, but he's got a no-trade clause he doesn't want to waive. Is that posturing? I don't know, but I would stay on the phone with Minnesota as I pursue they have a bunch of good arms in that bullpen. I pursue one of them, see if I can get him.
Real quick, let's stay with Buxton for 1 second. Buxton is now, I know the injury history. VG and I debated it, but he's a leadoff hitter. He is center field, and he's right-handed. I mean,
yeah, he'd be nice. He's having a great year too. He has trouble staying healthy, but he's staying healthy this year. He's got a really good contract. So there's a lot of layers there. He says publicly, and he sounded pretty committed to it, that he wants to stay there, that it's made a home there. He wants to stay in Minnesota. He's not going to waive his no-trade clause. If the Minnesota Twins trade him, they're pretty much telling everybody, And they're still on the periphery of this wild card thing. They're right. They could make a run. Without him, they don't make a run. So you trade him, you're telling your fans, we're not in it probably for the next 3 years. I don't know. It's a tough thing to do. The team is, I believe, for sale. He's one of your star guys, kind of marketable talents. Maybe you want to keep him. Maybe you want to lower the payroll. Oh, you're not going to lower the payroll that much because he's on an excellent contract. He's only owed like $45 million over the next 3 years. So not sure they're going to trade him. But I do think
any interest in Garcia?
No. He hasn't had a good, reputationally, you put him in the middle. Yeah, he's a nice.
He had a little bit of pop resurgence over the last month.
I don't know. If they gave him to me, Luis Robert, you give him to me, sure. Adolis Garcia, you give him to me, sure. But they haven't had good years in a while. I'm not giving up a good piece for those guys. I'd rather try to package
give up a good piece. That's the point. Yeah.
If you got to give them to me. I'm very intrigued by Mason
Garcia's
Miller.
still got 20 home runs this year, Jimmy. He's hitting 230 with 20 home runs this year.
He's had that's why I told you last month.
Like a OPS in the 6s. Look, maybe if you give him to me, he's a threat, obviously, but he hasn't been consistent the last 2 years. I'm intrigued by Mason Miller. I have been for a year. The Phillies been trying to get him for over a year. They tried to get him in the offseason, tried to get him last year. He's a great closer, great stuff, 4 years of control. And, I like Brent Rooker too. I think he's a real threat. Now, he doesn't really have a position, but if you're willing to pay the price, and I think they're willing to pay the price and give up some serious talent, and Mason, if the A's are going to make Mason Miller available, I'm in that conversation, and I'm thinking about getting Rooker as well, and I'm thinking about putting Schwarber in left field. Yeah. Just, I know it's a step back, and there's been times in the last couple of years when the Phillies have looked at improving their team by getting Schwarber out of left field. Like they've said, if we can be a better team if we can get him off the field better defensively. But there's such a void in the offense that Rooker could help fill. He's not a defensive player.
Yep. Maybe
you sacrifice some defense for a lot of offense and just freaking go for it. Now, if you got those two guys, you're saying goodbye to Andrew Painter, but that might be the one package I say goodbye to Andrew Painter for, because I think that puts you it really improves your chances of winning the World Series. And there's not that dominant club in MLB, I don't think. I think it's a wide open field for the World Series. And if the Phillies can improve those two flaws, back of the bullpen and right-handed bat, and Schwarber, Bryce, they're getting going. I mean, Schwarber's been going all year. Bryce is starting to get going. You get Bone back. Turner's having a very good year. I kind of like, and I like the way it would supercharge that clubhouse. Boy, you bring in those two guys, and all of a sudden that clubhouse looks around and they say,
"Yeah,
our front office it believes in us. Let's do it." So,
no, I'm 100% with you. Miller, Rooker, and
those are my imagination working a little bit, I guess. Minnesota's a team to watch. Baltimore's a team to watch. For the life of me, I know Oakland's got a few good young players, and you want to win the games you're supposed to win, but I don't see them, making being a big factor in October the next few years, a couple of years.
And to your point,
you got a chance to move that guy, but it would cost big for the Phillies. You'd have to take a big bite out of your farm system. It would hurt. But you have 4 years of control on Miller, and you go for it the next 2 years while you still got Zach Wheeler, while you got Christopher Sanchez. You might have to say goodbye to Ranger Suarez, but you're going to have Luzardo, and you got Harper, Turner. I think Schwarber will be back next year, but none of them are getting any younger. It's an interesting time for this franchise because they have a handful of really nice prospects, and they have a real desperation to win at the major league level. So, what's going to give here?
Jimmy, it seems like all the rumors you hear, like Dombroski's looking to bulk shop. It's like the A's with Miller and Rooker, the Orioles, Bautista.
Yeah, because they have two needs, and that's
and the Twins.
Yeah.
So, do you think that that's ideally what Dombroski's looking for? A couple players in one package deal that have like maybe a year or two controllable.
Well, that would be fewer moving parts. But if there are separate deals to make for a bat and a closer type, I think he'd pull that off. But yeah, if you could get it all in one package, and it just so happens there are teams out there with that: Baltimore, Minnesota, Oakland. So,
do you like Luriano? I mean, I'm not excited about him.
Yeah, I like
it's an
Luriano.
improvement, but
I like the attitude he plays with. He plays with a lot of intensity, a lot of fire. He's having a good year. Hits right-handers better than left-handers. Is he all-star? I don't know that he's an all-star caliber player, but I think
he's not an all-star.
On a good team, I think he's a nice piece to have. Would he be my ideal right-handed bat? No, I'd rather have Buxton. I'd rather have Rooker. But there's a lot of play on all these guys.
Do you expect Suarez
and then you got
to go to the
you
Yankees?
got Suarez. I do expect. I think that's the likely, but I would also be on him because now you got Bohm without Bohm for 3 or 4 weeks, and
he just hit another home run last night.
I know he did. He came close early. I watched it. He came close early in the game because it was a late game.
And when Bohm comes back, he could DH. He could stay at third. You could DH Bryce and Bohm, but the common denominator is if you get him or you get Rooker, Schwarber might have to play some left field or play a lot of left field. At one point that gave the organization pause, but given their flaw offensively, I don't know that I can give you pause anymore. He's such a grinder. Schwarber would go out there. He'd give you everything he had to.
He would
play good. He would give you everything he had.
He would. I think you. I now think you have to do that. Like I think you have to get a real bat. I do. I think you need a real bat. This lineup, it just struggles. And again, unless Schwarber's going yard or Bryce is he had that mini hot streak, right?
Or unless the catcher's giving you one, the other catcher.
Right, exactly. They
need a bat. They need a lot of things. There's a bunch of teams out there that need a lot of things. And I think the Phillies are going to do everything they can. I think they're willing to pay a big price in prospects and see if they can get there.
You know what? That freaking Milwaukee team, I don't know. They scare me, man.
Yeah.
They won again last night because Woodruff is back and he's back to dealing.
Don't they have the best record now?
Yeah.
They have the best record in the game? I think
close,
they might.
Close to it.
Playing great.
Yeah, they're tied with the Tigers, 60.
So, it's this starting pitching staff with the Philly. I mean, look at Zach Wheeler, no walks. Gave a few hits, but gave up a home run, but no walks, bunch of strikeouts. Christopher Sanchez is, he's become a peak performer. He's in his prime. He's, now Wheeler.
Were you a little worried about Ranger the other night? Like, he just couldn't get no command.
Yeah, and he has to have command, especially he's pitching at like 90.
I know.
90, 91. And he can really pitch. He's old school. He can move the ball around, change speeds. But if you're pitching at that velocity of no room forever with your location, the funny thing is, the first inning, he froze 2 right-handed hitters with stuff right on the black. And then after that, he couldn't locate anything. And then, the umpire on a 3-2 pitch missed a call against Trout, and that led to 5 runs. And, some people think, well, there was a 3-0 to Trout, but that pitch was on the line earlier in the at-bat. But, you can't put it in the hands of umpires. You got to –
No.
I don't blame him, but that did cost him some runs. He flat out said his command was awful, and he said the only pitch he executed all day was the high fastball that should have struck out Trout and ended up 5 runs. So he's human. He's not going to have a great one every night
The only thing with Ranger that gives me a little pause is doing it for a whole year. right? Like,
That's,
you know, I mean, that's
that's
always been,
you know,
him.
and that's, I think, why any team that signs him has to take into consideration, including the Phillies. I mean, can you how long term can you go? How expensive can you go? Because he's never put together that full season. The durability has always been a question. So it was a question last year, a question coming into this year. It'll be, it'll be a thing teams have to mull during his free agent campaign. But
What do you hear about Nola?
all I'd be concerned about right now is having 3 good months. I almost don't talk about Rangers free agency and extensions for Schwarber and Real Muto. You know what? I have every bit of focus organizationally on these next 3 months and bringing this thing home, and that everything else can wait. What am I hearing about Nola? I saw him Sunday. I'll tell you what, he looks strong. Saw him in a pair of gym shorts. His legs look strong. What are you laughing at?
I saw Nola. He looks strong. Saw him in a pair of gym shorts.
His legs look strong. I mean, you might look at an arm for a pitcher. I look at his legs.
Wait. I gotta get to the bottom of this. VG laughed and frickin' Frack laughed.
Why don't they? Maybe they need to go over and get some shoulder pads.
What?
I just pictured Jimmy, like, it's just an odd comment. I picture him in like 1950s Hoosiers little shorty gym shorts, but Jimmy being like, "Wow."
He just looks. He looks like
he looks
like he's in very good physical condition. He looks strong.
I will.
So what do I hear about him? He'll be back. He'll be back in what's the day? He'll be back in like 3 weeks.
When I saw him on the broadcast in the dugout, I was like, I miss him. I like Nola. I was like, oh,
you miss him. The first time he gives up a 2-run home run on a pitch down the middle, you'll be complaining about him.
Hey Jimmy, you and I butted heads last time, or maybe a couple weeks ago, about trading Ranger. How you feeling now? There's no starting pitching out there on the trade market. If you throw Ranger out there, you're going to get a pretty good return.
You're not, because he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
So you want to give him to a playoff team?
Yeah, an AL playoff team
where he can then come back and bite you.
Kick your ass.
I'm not worried about him biting me in October. I don't have faith in him in October.
Anthony, take that big left hand of yours and hit him right in the forehead.
I know. It's stupid. You're not trading. Again, what you get back is not going to be a lot. And why would you?
And you trade him to a contender that kicks your ass with him.
Exactly.
If you want to win the World Series, you need Ranger Suarez.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm on Jimmy's side with this one. 100% on your side. Last thing, buddy, as we go into
you don't trade from your big league roster. You don't trade contributors from your big league roster, guys that have helped you get where you're going.
No,
you never do that. Minutes telling me how concerned you are about him, and he can't play a whole year. I mean, what are you talking about?
I was framing that around the contract extension.
Oh my God!
You're talking about this year.
I was framing that around the contract extension. Whether you commit to him long term.
I understood you. Don't worry about it. All right.
This kid has everything to pitch for the next 2 months. He's pitching for $100 million
exactly.
or more.
No, you're spot on, Jimmy. Spot on. All right, Stakes. What are you looking for? What do you want to see this week?
I want to see Bryce Harper continue to build on the last few games and keep swinging it and keep smiling and keep having fun and being on top of the world because he's producing. I want to see him, build like a tsunami wave and ride it for 2 months. So that's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's a great call.
I wouldn't mind seeing him strangle Stott, shake him into reality.
I got between Stott, Bohm. I know Marsh is hitting a little bit, but man, they just crippled you.
And Stott's fine with the glove if he's in a 9-hole, but you got so many other holes in the batting lineup.
You got too many holes. Yeah. No, that's why you need to.
All right, guys. Hey, Bo is waiting. I heard they just started giving out thigh pads over there.
It's a big day, leg day. Jimmy Steakdown training camp.
So they're giving out shoulder pads, and I heard they issued some nice chin straps. So go over and start talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I will, buddy. I will. Thank you, Jimmy. Right. See you, Steaks. Right. Bye. You know why you laughed? Because if he would have went, I saw him in a pair of shorts the other day. his legs, it
gym
like it looked
shorts?
good. But by saying gym shorts
Yeah, I'm thinking 50s.
makes
Little
it sound
shorty
right.
shorts, yeah.
Like it's funny. I was thinking, why did everybody laugh? I'm going, it's the use of the gym shorts. Like I would never, like you say, you don't say gym, you just a pair of shorts. Yeah.
He's looking strong. I was like, all right. I figured maybe
That's
he
what
saw
you
him
got.
throwing some pitches and it had some zip on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Saw him a pair of gym shorts.
He's a leg man.
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
that guy.
Likes legs.
All right, let's take care of some business, and then we got Bo. I jumped the gun, man. I'm so one-sided right now, man. Listen, it's all peaks and valleys on what the big story is. The big story today is obviously camp.
Yeah.
I mean, you're coming off a Super Bowl. How can it not be camp?
Who's saying it's not camp? No one's giving you
Wow.
pushback.
Well, you are, and then Jimmy was. So
Wow,
let's
Jimmy.
take care of some business.
All right. Ace Hardware Home Services, because, hey, if you've been snoozing on that outlet you said you'd fix last summer or the summer before that, get to it. Use Ace Hardware Home Services because they got people for that. Because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home service and repair folks. They do plumbing and heating, cooling, electrical. They've got trusted pros to keep your house humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Service. They're bringing the helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door, from Philly all the way down to the Jersey Shore. And check it out, man. They bring everything you need to get the job done. They bring experience. They're local plumbers and techs that handle everything from repairs and seasonal maintenance. Or maybe you want to do a new installation or upgrade something. They bring understanding by listening to your goals. Make sure you're totally satisfied before the job's complete. And they give you free estimates on equipment installation, replacement with trusted advisors. And they give you a bunch of options totally suited for your home, your budget. They work with you. Service you can trust and satisfaction is always guaranteed. Ace Hardware Home Services, more importantly, they're local. Their teams live and serve their community, and they're dedicated to keeping their neighbors comfortable in their own homes. So visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next home repair project.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Yeah. Game 2 of the series against Boston tonight. Sanchez on the hill. What's the where do we go on the line tonight for the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app?
I will say what I do have pulled up right now and I'm looking at, which is maybe the first time ever in the history of Philadelphia. The Super Bowl 2025-26 futures winner, the favorite are your Philadelphia Eagles.
What are they?
Plus
4-1?
650.
650, yeah.
How about that? When's the last time we've gone into a season
As the favorite.
the favorite
I know.
win a Super Bowl? So let me see what the Phillies
Come
are.
on.
Phillies are minus 200.
They should be. They should be. With the way Sanchez has looked, I mean, he has looked dominant. I'll tell you, I like his strikeouts tonight. What's his strikeouts? Boston don't swing and miss.
Let me see.
So I kind of like Sanchez over the K's tonight. That might be something you look at.
Pitcher prop.
They have all the props, right? They have again all of whether
6.5.
Yeah, I see 7.
All right.
I see 7. I might like the under tonight too. Plus, check out BetWire, which is now live right inside the BetParks app. BetWire is the all-new sports betting live feed right inside the app. Quick videos, hot takes, game predictions. You got it right there on your phone, man. It's pretty cool. With BetParks, play all your favorite casino games right on your phone as well. Check out the new games on the app. Huff and More Puff, Squid Games, The Flintstones, Money Horse. You know Money Horse?
I do know Money Horse.
What's that entail?
Money Horse, it doesn't really tickle. It's not as fun for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not one of
What's
my
your
fun
favorite
ones.
slot?
I like Betty Yeti, but I'll tell you, last night I was doing some cash eruption.
Oh, the
Had a
cash
nice hit.
eruption.
Nice 20-cent bet, paid like $18 out.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
New users, in fact, get up to $1,000 cash back if you're down the first 24 hours. See betparks.com for details. Got to be 21, PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. You have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now, I jumped the gun on my man, so I can't wait to get on their way. Let's from the
I don't know if he knows what he's walking into, right?
Let's go from the all PHLY Bird Show. He knows. I saw him yesterday. He was here. It was a battered day at PHLY with Cooper and Reed and Jason Kelsey and Brandon Graham. It just felt like football. And Bo was there. Good morning, Bo Wolf.
I'm back, baby.
I missed you, Bo.
How about
know
it,
you
brother? What a
How
nice
we
day
doing?
it was yesterday at the PHLY studios.
It was star-studded affair. Got to meet Massimo.
It was a great day, man. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for being so gracious to my son.
Of course. I mean, I hear all the stories. I got to see him. I got to see him play now. I want to see him on the field.
Yeah,
So I'm measuring his hands up against everybody, showing off those big hands he's got.
yeah. Dan from Athletes First.
Yeah.
He was like, look, I said, show me your hands. And he shows that. He's like, oh my God, they're bigger than mine.
Not a good look for Dan, though.
But it was a great day, right? Coop and Reed and BG and Jason. I mean, it felt like the start of football, buddy.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because it's those two guys, Kelsey and BG, who are, BG, this is his first time not preparing for camp. Kelsey is 1 year removed from it being his first time. And so the two of them off to the side were sort of trading stories. And, Kelsey's telling him about how, part of the key to like life after football is you don't want to have too much free time because these guys are so used to having the routine of their life and having so much stuff scheduled out that you need to be able to schedule your things out. Otherwise, you're sort of going to lose your mind.
Dude, it's funny. We were talking about that, and it's true. Because if you look at it, exactly. You're at the facility all day, right? Mm-hmm. You have one off day on a Tuesday usually, but you're still probably going to get some treatment. And
right.
like
you're going to get the lift
what
in,
it is.
Exactly.
Right? Like you're there from, mid-July basically through February. This is your life. And
especially the older guys like Kelsey and BG who have had to be so focused on how to take care of their body. At the end of their career, right? And it takes a lot every week to get ready for a game, whether that is, a massage or it's, cupping or whatever it is. But they've got like all of these different things to get them ready for Sunday, and it's all regimented out. They've sort of got their process, and so they're still, they're still working out, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's funny. Look at those guys, and I can see BG because BG was like, yeah, it's been a weird couple months. It feels like, just the off season, but now like it's starting to realize that this is my life. And
there's no doubt that like a substantial part of him still wants to be playing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I got the same thing. He's like, I went down the shore a couple days, and you can see he's antsy. You can see it.
Yes. I think even talking to BG after the Super Bowl, he re-tears the shoulder or whatever it is. But even then, it's almost like he's convincing himself that this story is too good not to end on, and not necessarily I'm done playing football. I think he's always going to have that itch.
Plus, I think Howie's like, listen, it's time. It's a perfect ending. And,
exactly.
And everybody's right. It was the perfect ending. Like,
right.
There's no need, but there's always that, it's one more. Where, no one, finality is such a hard word, right? Like, think about it. Like, finality. Like, this is it. That's tough.
Well, yeah. And, you think about, these guys are very lucky in Kelsey and BG who played into their late 30s. Like, most NFL players, you're talking about, a 3-year career, a 5-year career, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about players who are retired, by the time they've lived like a third of their life, right? And so they've got to figure out what the rest of their life is going to look like. And, that was the initial conceit of the Kelsey documentary was like dealing with that. And it's something that a lot of not just football players, but professional athletes have really struggled with. And so, those guys are in very good positions to take advantage of all the things that they've accomplished as football players. But that doesn't make it any less of an existential problem to tackle.
That's right. Let's go from one end of the spectrum to the other, right? So I'm looking at Coop yesterday. I'm talking to Coop, and I'm thinking, oh my God, look at this kid, 22 years old. This is a kid that returned an interception for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. A kid who flattened Derrick Henry, right? King Henry flattened him. I mean, you think about what he accomplished his rookie year. The defense had a whole different feel to it once he got into the lineup, right? And my man, there's a lot that he accomplished his first year, and he's living life, man. He's loving it. Down the shore at the new memories, right?
Yeah, I don't know who's having a better summer than Cooper Dejean.
Nobody. He's of all that of everybody in the Delaware Valley, that crowd, that young crowd, he's like the king.
Yes. And it's funny, you mentioned him coming into the lineup. There was a moment in the Kelsey recording yesterday where Kelsey was talking about, some of the defensive struggles that the team had early in the season. The Bucks game where they're getting they're letting up all these easy completions ahead of them, and then all of a sudden they get beat deep, and how they figured something out during the bye. And yeah, like Vic Fangio deserves a ton of credit for tweaking the entire defense, but it also is kind of just as easy as, well, they put Cooper Dejean in the lineup,
right,
and then they were fine.
Right. You get someone, it's a great tackler. If you look at the defensive struggles before Coop and then last year, the year before, it was about tackling. It was about the middle of the field. And Coop, where it makes him so dangerous, is the middle of the field. It's why, when you're looking at this depth chart, I don't want him on the outside. I think you gain more with him in the middle of the field than on the outside. And I know he can play the outside.
I think so too. And I think Vic thinks that. And I think Cooper Dejean likes being inside. Now, eventually there's going to be a financial decision that he has to make, because you're going to make more money on the outside, and maybe the Eagles will go out of their way to make him well compensated for playing on the inside. Now listen, I do think he's going to play on the outside when they're in base, but we're talking about 5 snaps a game. You want him on the field. That makes a lot of sense. But I do think that in Vic's defense, for the reasons you're talking about, I mean, the things that Cooper Dejean brings to that defense, and the versatility he gives them to be able to hold up against the run when they have a light box, because he's such a good tackler coming forward. And then he's also an unbelievable cover guy. In the ideal version of this defense, if Jahad Campbell turns out to be who the Eagles think he's going to be, if you've got Campbell, Bond, and Dejean in the middle of the field, you have 3 guys who are unbelievably athletic, can disguise what they're going to do, and can hold up against the run and the pass. It's like it is an ideal situation if those guys all work out.
What I love about one of his great gifts is his closing speed is pretty ridiculous, man. It really is. It puts opposing offenses in a especially when you're getting pressure up front, like with Carter in the middle and then Coop in the middle of the field. That's just, we saw it. They're really tough to move the ball against.
And the closing speed goes hand in hand with just his willingness to be physical, which you can get better at that. But in a grand sense, to me, I think that's like you have it or you don't.
Yes.
And boy, does he have it.
Yes. Yeah, he does. Let's look at how Cooper, with the effects of really defense, like offense pretty much intact. Steen for Becton. You got to see who steps up, wide receiver depth, because that's a bit of a weakness. But really, the question is going to be on defense and how the rest of the secondary looks, right? You got Ringo. I think Nakobe, obviously, I think Vic is going to want Nakobe to win that job. Right?
I'm loving the graphic. Yeah, I know. I think that's the reason he was drafted, right? Is to be that guy. And it sort of feels from the outside like it was Vic's hand-chosen safety, right? And this was the one pick over the past few years where the Eagles did go against what felt like league consensus. I don't think that most of the league had Nakobe graded as a second-round pick. I don't think that they had him ahead of some of the other safeties who went after him. And so this is one where the proof is going to be in the pudding. And if you're thinking about what the downside case is for Nakobe, I mean, he is slight. He has that willingness to be physical, but there might be times where he is just physically overmatched. And as a safety, you can't be missing tackles on the back end. Those lead to touchdowns. And it's going to be about how he comes along, just in terms of knowing the defense, and like, is the football intelligence what the Eagles think it is? And Sidney Brown is a player who, yes, he was coming off of injury last year, and so Vic Fangio didn't get to see him in the summer. But we also saw that once he was healthy, Vic Fangio had Tristan McCollum over him. And so I don't think that Vic Fangio loves Sidney Brown. That could change. He could have an awesome camp and he could go out and win that job. But yeah, I would put Nakobe as the heavy favorite there.
And it's Ringo's job to lose. What do you think about Keeley?
I like Keeley. I think that he has gotten better over the course of his time with the Eagles. I think he was much better last summer than he was the summer before. And I thought that he earned a chance to get some playing time last season. I think whoever it is, and I think it is likely to be Keeley Ringo, whoever it is going to get picked on. I mean, whoever is the other starting outside corner is going to be the focal point of the opposing offense's passing attack, right? Because there's a big difference between whoever it is in Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper Dejean. And so, I hope that Keeley Ringo gets thrown at a lot this summer, because he's going to get thrown at a lot this season if he's the starter.
Yeah, what do you hear about Mac Williams? Because Mac McWilliams, I'm hearing a lot about him, like some little buzzing around him.
Yeah, and he did a little bit of in the spring, a little bit of moving inside as well, which was the book that he might be well suited for that. I think he is a player that they like. And listen, to counter the point that we were talking about before, if you love Mac McWilliams and you think that maybe he's best on the inside, you could flirt with playing him inside and putting Cooper Dejean outside. He would have to be really good, really early for that to be the best case scenario for the defense.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's going to be interesting, the D-line rotation, and obviously Ty Robinson, the rookie from Nebraska, who I was talking to Matt the other day, Matt Rule, and he's, he loves that kid, man.
One thing that will stand out when you see Ty Robinson, just huge shoulder width. Like, he looks like a square up top. It's an interesting build. But listen, he's a player who is older, and so you're expecting when you draft someone like that he can come in and contribute right away. And I think that will be the expectation, that he will be a real part of the defensive tackle rotation early on.
How's he look in gym shorts?
Haven't seen him yet.
All right. Jimmy Stakes is waiting for an update.
I'll let you know.
What happened was, so Stakes was talking about Nola. And he goes, I was walking in the clubhouse. And I saw him in gym shorts. And they all start cracking up laughing.
Well, he said he's like, I saw Nola. He looks strong. I saw him in a pair of gym shorts.
And I was trying to explain to him, like,
good luck.
You're right. But it was, they were laughing at gym shorts, like, instead of just a pair of shorts. That's where these idiots were,
I mean, if he just said shorts, you might think he's talking about, casual shorts or, your khaki shorts.
Listen, when you haven't seen a starting pitcher for 2 months and the guy says, I saw him, he looks strong. You're thinking, all right, he's throwing the ball with some pop. And he says, I saw him in some gym shorts.
Listen, as someone who once led the county in innings pitched, I can tell you that so much of the power for a pitcher comes from the butt. And so if Jim got a good look at that butt in the gym shorts and it was looking strong, I think that speaks volumes about what Nola's going to bring later this summer.
The glutes are strong.
Yeah. The rest of the D line, all right. I mean, you got to think Hunt looked good in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You got to feel good about him going in.
I think so. Now, just because a player has an awesome Super Bowl doesn't mean they're gonna take that leap that you expect. Like Corey Clement, for example. It's a different position, but he was the best player on offense in the Super Bowl, and then he was fine after that. He didn't take another leap. That's great. I expect that Jalix Hunt, given what we all thought about the development path to begin with, that this was a guy who 3 years ago was playing safety at Cornell, and then he goes to Houston Baptist, and he pops. You would think that this is a guy who's going to take some time, and he was way ahead of schedule last year. But yeah, my expectation is that he will start on the opposite edge from Nolan Smith. But this is, I think, a real question for the Eagles is what is that edge rotation going to look like? Because Azeez Ojulari on paper is a very solid number 3. Maybe Josh Uche regains some of the stuff that he had in New England. But both of those guys have been really injury prone over the course of their careers. There's no guarantees there. Antoine Powell-Ryland, the late round pick that they got from Virginia Tech, even if he hits, you're talking about a pass rush specialist. This is not an early down player necessarily. And so, yeah, I think there is a real question. And even beyond that, Nolan Smith, who was so unbelievable in the playoffs. And I have said all offseason, I don't remember a player ever improving as much in the middle of the season as Nolan Smith did last year. All of that said, the way that he plays so violently in that frame, he has to prove that he can stay healthy. And that's going to be a real thing for the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I agree.
Hey, with the edge, do you get the sense that they think they're going to bring in a vet at some point, Zadarius Smith or Clowney?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they would have. I think that's on their short list. I think that receiver, they'll be on their short list to monitor to see where they're at. Come through camp.
I'm usually not a Clowney guy, but I was reading an SI article where
I love Clowney.
He was blindsided by being released, and he promised he would help an NFL,
he's
NFL
actually
contender in his next team.
He's a nasty. Like he'll work, man.
Yeah,
he's dedicated to the craft, Clowney.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's a position where you can bring in a mercenary, right? Yeah. Because it's not like you need to know the defense that much. Go get the quarterback, right? So that is a position where, and there are guys on the street who are capable of helping you. So more so than wide receiver. So I do think that edge is a real possibility. Probably something where they will go through the first week or so of camp, see how they like the guys who are here, and then reassess.
Yeah. The other, what do you hear about Campbell?
Yeah, the expectation is he's not going to be on the field practicing until sometime in August. I would, if I'm just pure speculation, feels like the kind of thing where, like, after the first preseason game, the first practice after that, okay, now you've got Jahad Campbell working in individual drills for the first time, kind of soft playing it like that. But I think it's hard when the guy hasn't been on the field. He had those sort of individual sessions with Vic Fangio in the spring. I think there are some people who would caution in expecting that Jahad Campbell can be, Zach Bond 2.0 right from the jump. That it might take a little bit of time.
Well, I mean, come on, he's a rookie, so obviously, I love the kid. I think the kid's a baller. I think the kid's tough, and once he gets his feel for the NFL, I think he's going to be really good. But you got to give him time to get that feel.
You got to give him time, and he's got to stay healthy. He was off several teams' boards because of the medical, so he's got to prove that as well.
Yep. My brother, happy camp. Camp repeat is underway.
Camp report day tomorrow, though. Tomorrow's we get the first practice. Now we're really cooking.
Right, but today still counts.
Man, everyone's just whizzing on your joy today.
I know.
What is going on?
I know. To me, it begins.
I'm trying to yuck your yum. And just they show up today. It's not. Well, let's see them.
Well,
let's see them work tomorrow.
Doesn't the physical test today?
Yeah, but we don't get to see that. It used to be, back at Lehigh, report day was a big deal. Like, you see the guys coming in, checking into their dorm room. You see, Michael Vick carrying in his TV, all of this stuff. Now we don't get to see this stuff anymore. It's they keep it in house.
I loved it. I loved report day. The Lehigh 500. They came up and then it was Hollis Thomas bringing a big box full of girly magazines.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting in the same place, and then all of a sudden you get word that maybe one of the stars is checking in behind the dorm instead of in front of the dorm. Like, oh, we gotta go.
Dude, the best was the TO year. That was the greatest. That was Lehigh at its finest. It was like the traffic was snarled. Andy was late for practice one day.
No,
I remember that.
Yeah, he was late. Butchie had to go put the sirens on.
Sirens on.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great memories.
That's funny.
Bo, listen,
All right.
enjoy it, buddy. It begins today. Let's go.
Begins today, live at 2:00 today with Zach, talking about the 20 Eagles that we are most looking forward to see in training camp.
Love it. Let's go. Thanks, buddy.
Guys.
Oh, I can't wait. You're right. Oh, tomorrow's today's the day.
Come on.
It's today.
Starts today.
They have the test today.
They're all down there today.
That's it. It's beginning.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now I think you felt bad for me.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just like, poo-pooing it.
I know. All right. Let's go. And again, let's go over our little friends and talk about our partners.
Yeah, let's do it.
Talk about our teeth.
You know, your smile says a lot. So let's introduce you to the team that helps you say exactly what you want with your smile. Meet the Dudette Dental Group. This is the team trusted to care for one of our city's greatest assets, our Philadelphia Eagles. Now entering their 5th season as the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles, Dr. D and his team have proudly served Philadelphia and its fans for over 20 years. And they do it all from robotic implant surgery and Invisalign to veneers, emergencies, and a bunch more. They're locally owned and operated. Dr. D's a proud graduate of North Penn High School and Temple University School of Dentistry.
Dr. D!
His commitment to the health and the confidence of our community runs deep, man. So whether you're an MVP or a lifelong fan, this is the team you want caring for that smile. Check them out, PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com, and discover how you can smile like the birds.
How about that? Smile like the birds.
Smile like the birds.
All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. The cool summer vibes await you at Parks Casino, our casino of choice. They got it all: action, excitement, headline entertainment, great restaurants, plus all summer long. This is awesome. Swing by the Bet Park Sportsbook for every home game this season and enjoy the ultimate fan experience. That's right. $1 hot dogs, $3 Miller Lights.
$1 dogs,
Yeah,
$3 beers.
baby.
Wall-to-wall action on our giant screens. $1 hot dog, $1 dogs all the time.
Can't beat
$3 Miller Lights every home game. Phillies are playing home tonight.
Yeah.
Head on over to Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem for $1 dogs and $3 Miller Lights.
$15. A few
Great
beers,
deal.
a couple dogs, throw some tips down for the ladies or the people serving you. You're good.
In fact, then you throw 20 on the Phillies.
Yeah, even better.
And you had a great night. Cost you nothing. All right?
Yep.
Plus, check out concerts, comedy, more. You name it. The state-of-the-art Excite Center. A collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Liberty Bell Gastropub, and Beer Garden. The best cover bands in the 360 Lounge every weekend. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParksCasino.com for tickets to all shows. Got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. So I can't get enough of what's going on, right?
Football.
So, the fact that we're starting camp, I wanted to have Bo and Zach.
Well, Zach's going to be excited.
You think
He's ready for training
Bo's
camp.
always cool.
Yeah.
Zach should be geeked up like me.
Zach's ready to
Right.
go.
Well, it is the big deal presented by Cherry Hill Kia. The big deal, of course, training camp. And joining us for the all PHLY Bird Show, I told you, back to back. And Zach's going to be joining us every day from camp to give us reports, storylines, like he always does. He's our great man, our great friend, Zachariah Z. Berm. Look at that smile.
Yeah, he's ready to
fired
go.
up.
Yep.
You're muted.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm wired like Anthony in most things. This too. I'm prime. My body gets primed for camp. Like mid-July comes around. This is year 14 for me. Year 15, if you include, I used to cover the Giants, so year 15. And this time of year, once July 4th hits, then you got that, like, you get I watched the MLB All-Star game, and you start to kind of get this feeling in your body, right? And then once post All-Star game, it's like it's football season, it's training camp. So my wife knows, like, she's like, can we do this? Double date this? I said, no, this is training camp. She's like, you're not actually playing. You're not on the field with them. And I'm like, this is training camp. So I'm like Anthony. Today's a big day for me. I'm excited, thrilled to be talking about it.
Yeah, it really, I knew exactly what happened. And today's official. I know they report today, but I count today as day one because everybody reports and they do the physical test.
Yeah. They go through their physical. So, I was asked this morning, are you going to find out who if someone fails the physical? And I say, you'll know if they're not practicing tomorrow, right? Like, that's kind of the giveaway. But they go through the physical test, they go through their medical examinations, right? So you'll see some news later today or before practice tomorrow on if players are starting on PUP. I would imagine Nakobe Dean starts training camp on PUP. And then they have all the administrative meetings too. And then once they're on the field tomorrow, there's I think a 3-day priming up period, like ramp up period before the pads come on. And so the pads will come on this weekend or early next week. And so and then before you know it, they have their first preseason game on what, August 7th against Cincinnati. So this is not slowing down. This is only going to get faster.
I know. I that's what's going to happen, man. So, all right, loads of stuff to talk about. Let's start with the injuries, right? Because you brought up Nakobe. What's the deal? Like, what's kind of timetable are you hearing about Nakobe?
Yeah, so I think Nakobe is probably being a little more, he's probably pushing it more than the team might. I think this is middle of the year is the more likely timeline for that. I think Nakobe, he's obviously ambitious. He's prideful. And I think he would like to push that. I don't think he wants to put a date on it. I think he would like sooner than later. The reality is he's in a contract year. This is an injury that occurred the second postseason game, so mid-January. You're looking mid-January. It's a major injury. It's worse than like an ACL. So I'm thinking middle of the year for Nakobe. If he can prove me wrong, it's good for him and good for the Eagles. But that's kind of the time frame I'm thinking right now.
All right, how about Campbell? Because that's the other guy that we want to see. It's probably going to be a little while.
Yeah, August is what I've been hearing for that. Now, August is obviously a pretty broad. If it's early August, you feel good about week one. If it's late August, it looks a little different. As a frame of reference, Cooper Dejean last year, he got hurt during the summer, okay, and he returned. The Patriots joint practice, so that's the second preseason game. So that would be like the Browns joint practice this year. Cooper Dejean was ready to go week one. Obviously not ready to start week one. I think if Howie had his, I think Howie probably wished Cooper was in there a little sooner. But by week 5 last year, Cooper was in the lineup. He was probably ready before then. So I think with Jahad Campbell, I think that the real benchmark to watch would be that second preseason game. If he's able to get out there in time for the second preseason game, you feel good about week one. But I think if it gets beyond that, last year Cooper played that third preseason game and he was just kind of in a special teams role. The Eagles at some point here are going to need to figure out who that second linebacker is going to be against the Cowboys. And it's not that much sooner, but you start the season on a Thursday as opposed to a Sunday.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about these injuries, every day counts. There's less practice time leading into it than you typically have. So I'm curious to see. I think middle of August is what to watch for Jahad Campbell.
So if not Jahad, Trot Jr. or Mondin?
Yeah, those would be the two: is Trot Jr. or Smile Mondin. My guess is Trot Jr. Probably because of just the experience in the system. The one thing you have to think though is so to kind of give a frame of reference to the listeners and the viewers. Um, Trot Jr. is comparable to Nakobe Dean. Smile Mondin's comparable to Oren Burks. So last year, after the injury, the Eagles essentially moved Zach Bond to that Mike spot, to like the Nakobe Dean spot. He was wearing the red dot, and Zach Bond obviously he played great in the championship game, played great in the Super Bowl. So maybe you kind of like Zach Bond in that role, and you go with Smile Mondin, who has more length. He has that Oren Burks frame out there. But I got to think Trot Jr., given the experience that he has, full offseason with the team, and Zach Bond, you could put him anywhere and it would work. I think Trot Jr., but I'm real curious to see Smile Mondin for this reason. If you're good enough to be a multi-year starter at Georgia, I think that learning curve in the NFL is probably less than it is with some other players.
Yeah, he's interesting to me. I'm curious about him because I agree with you. Like if you could play there, that says something.
Yeah, and he's got speed and he's got length. And those are two things that you really like at that spot, especially with the second linebacker. The instincts, that comes with time sometimes, not all of the time, but the speed and the length. And, when we talk about Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond, one of the things we talk about is like the length that you have in the middle of the field with the passing lanes. The Eagles saw that last year with Oren Burks. That's something that Mondin gives you that Trotter doesn't.
Yeah. Anybody else dinged up that you have to worry about?
Cam Jurgens, we'll see how he is coming back from the injury. He was progressing, and so that's a player that we'll be watching closely. And then Nolan Smith by the mandatory minicamp in June, he was striking. He was ready to go. I think Nolan Smith's gonna be back, but Cam Jurgens and Nolan Smith are two guys who had surgery post Super Bowl. So you're looking, mid-February, and that's a more truncated period than a typical end of season surgery. But I know Nolan was progressing well. Cam Jurgens, I will see. He did not participate during the summer, but this was the type of thing I think training camp was always kind of the target.
Yeah, no, I thought so. I thought so too. I do think I hear that Nolan is feeling pretty good. So I feel pretty confident there. Let's look at that D line for a second because that's going to be an area where it's like, all right, is Ojulari got anything, right? Like off the, will they be in the market for another edge guy?
Yeah, you hit it on the head there, Anthony, because that really is the position where I have the most concern going into camp. You're expecting Nolan Smith and Alex Hunt to really take big steps this year. And beyond that, and behind them, I like Azeez Ojulari. I thought Azeez Ojulari was going to get more money in free agency than he did. I thought that was a real shrewd signing for the Eagles. Between Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche, you're hoping one of them can become a real strong rotation piece for you. Last year, the Eagles did just fine with three. Vic Fangio, it's not the Jim Schwartz, Jim Johnson, like let's keep rotating 4 or 5 edge rushers. Fangio has his 3, and he's good with that. But this is a spot, absolutely, where if there's an injury to either Nolan Smith or Alex Hunt, or maybe Alex isn't coming along the way you might have expected, you're certainly looking. And there's a lot. This is a position where there's more veterans kind of lingering on the market than some of the other spots. You obviously saw Von Miller sign with Washington over the weekend, but guys like Zadarius Smith, there's those mid 30-year-old ring chasing type players who are sitting on the market, and those players, it's kind of like David Robertson in baseball. You're just, they want to play. They're just kind of looking for that opportunity to catch on somewhere. So I would pay attention to edge rusher and safety as 2 spots where the Eagles could add.
Yeah. And then I feel pretty good about the interior of that line, right?
Yeah, very much so.
With Carter, Ojomo, Davis, and Ty Robinson, who you expect to play right away.
Yeah, you're right about. I'm glad you mentioned Ty Robinson because he's the player that I think like when you and I are talking in a week, like fans are like, "Ooh, you got to know who Ty Robinson is."
Yeah.
Partly because obviously your boy Matt Rule, he played there, he shined there. But this is the thing: when you draft a 24-year-old, 5-year, 6-year player in college, you're doing it for that guy to contribute right away. This isn't like Keely Ringo 2 years ago, where the Eagles were thinking, all right, this is a down the line pick. The Eagles, when you're taking Ty Robinson at this stage in his development, it's so he can be a contributor earlier on, and there's definitely a spot for him. So you mentioned the three there. Jalen Carter's obviously he's playing as much as you can. Moro Ojimo, he's going to step in to that Milton Williams role from last year. I think Jordan Davis plays more. I don't know how much more. But then who fills that Moro Ojimo role from last year? I think that's going to be Ty Robinson.
Yeah, I do too. Let's go offense now for a second, because I know we debated this a lot about throwing more versus the run. And, I'm not going to say I'm moved to your side, but I agree with you in that I think they're going to try it more. I think they're going to look to throw more. We'll see if it works, but I think they will try to, whether it's right or wrong, I do hear that they're going to throw it more.
Yeah, I think that's going to be at least the focus going into the season. Now, it's not going to be, 70-30 per se, right, but it's the type of thing where it's not going to look like last year's offense. I think that a big focus this summer is going to be on the passing game, which seems fairly obvious because, training camp is more conducive for passing than for running anyways. But they're going to try to get that in sync. When you have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith, you have Dallas Goedert, these guys aren't here to just block. And I think there's going to be an emphasis going into the season. And a big point of view, when you hear Nick Sirianni talk tomorrow and you hear Nick Sirianni talk over the next few weeks, he's going to hammer home the point that they need to evolve. They need to evolve. They can't just do what they did last year and expect that result. And so I think there's a school of thought in that building that if they know they can run the ball. But if this offense is going to take another step this year, it needs to be with the passing game being more in sync than it was at points last season. You saw it in the Super Bowl, and I think that's going to be a big emphasis from Kevin Patullo. And the one thing I would add, too, is I'm expecting more of a vertical element to the offense this year. If you think back to those Chan Gailey offenses that Kevin Patullo was a part of, you saw a lot of Ryan Fitzpatrick going downfield. And I think when you think about Jalen Hurts' skill set, Jalen, we can talk about timing and things like that. He can throw the deep ball. That's a strength of his, and I think they'll lean on that.
Yeah, and that I'm for, right? Because I always thought like a dynamic run game always marries well with a down the field pass game. I mean, it just does, only because of the safety, right? It's like, when you're moving the safety up, it just makes for down the field. Yep. I'm curious though. Somebody who steps up and when it comes to wide receiver depth, because outside of AJ and Devontae, and obviously Dotson had a key catch in the Super Bowl, who's there? Because I'm not feeling Johnny Wilson.
You're right, Anthony. It needs to be Jahan Dotson. And he's one of the players, I heard before I came on, Bo and I are doing, we're drafting like 20 players that are most interesting this summer. Jahan Dotson is going to be high on my list. I'll tell the viewers that right now because, if your third receiver is your biggest question mark going into, among your skill spots, it means you're pretty good at skill spots. But Jahan Dotson, when they acquired him last year, so they acquired him 2 days before that Minnesota game, so the third preseason game, didn't really get any practice time or much practice time before Brazil. And then during the season, it's kind of thrown into the fire. I think early in the year, when AJ was down, when Devontae Smith was down, you didn't see enough from Dotson during that point. And later in the year, he started making some catches in the playoffs. You mentioned the Super Bowl. This is a former first-round pick. The Eagles gave draft capital to get him. He's in a contract year. I think Jahan Dotson needs to be a really strong number 3 receiver for this team because the way, and you know this better than me because, I know defensive coaches in the league. One of the things that defensive coaches are going to try to do is they're going to try to filter the ball to Jahan Dotson. They're going to try to make that matchup inviting. It's going to be, you're not going AJ, you're not going to Devontae. Throw the ball to Dotson, and it's going to be incumbent upon Dotson to make plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's going to have to. Anybody else that you like depth-wise, Anais Smith, like anybody
Yeah, I'll give you one name under the radar name. You know, when I know, unless you're kind of invited in, fans don't get to watch the training camp practices outside of that public practice. But in the preseason, pay attention to Danny Gray. Danny Gray was a former third-round pick by the 49ers. The Eagles claimed him off waivers last year. I had a piece on allphly.com last winter when I was asking around the locker room who on the practice squads really impressed you. And corners and wide receivers alike mentioned Danny Gray. He got the most votes of anyone there. And he's someone who had legit speed coming out of SMU. As I said, 49ers took him in the third round. There's a school of thought that if he was with the team during camp last year, maybe he would have pushed for a job. He made some plays during the spring. I think of like the down the roster wide receivers, Danny Gray's the player I would watch.
Does he look like 4.33 speed when you see him?
Yeah, I mean, he of like the down the depth chart guys, yeah, VG, he does stand out there. Like in terms of the vertical element, you saw that a bit during the spring.
Yeah, that would be big if you can get,
You got decent size, 6 foot.
You're right. And the fact that he's got that kind of speed, that down the field. And I'm with you, Zach. Like, when we talk about incorporating the pass, if it's a vertical element, I like that. I just think it's that taking more shots marries well to what you do.
Yep.
And, I think that's Jalen's strength is downfield. I mean, that's his best throw.
Yeah, and you're correct about that. They have the weapons for that. Devontae is so good at contested catches. AJ Brown, I mean, we know what he does there. And then, when you think about Saquon, what that does with the safeties, like you mentioned, where if they're going to bring the safety down, you have the mismatch downfield, and if the safety's deep, then there's more space for Saquon to navigate. So I think, given Patul's background, given the talent, given the emphasis on explosive plays, and the fact that they weren't getting enough of those downfield plays last year, I think you're going to see more of that this year.
I got one question on the line. Obviously, it's Steen. Where are you at? Like, how much is of a drop off do you think? Because Becton in the run game, Becton was a road grader, right? So.
Yeah.
Where are you at with Steen and, can Green be kind of redone by the best O-line coach in football?
Yeah, it's a great question, because this is the big question on the offensive side of the ball is right guard. And it's Steen's job to lose. But I was talking to you during training camp 2 years ago when Tyler Steen was competing with Cam Jurgens ostensibly, and Jurgens, who had never played guard before, beat him out. Last year, we were talking on this show when he was competing with Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton, who had never played guard before, beat him out. So now here it is, Tyler Steen's third chance at getting that job. The deck is stacked in his favor to win the job, but he needs to show that this is his job. And I think if there's any type of indecision week 2, week 3 of camp, that's a bad sign, because if they're rotating Kenyon Green in, or they're looking at Matt Pryor with the first team, that's Jeff Stoutland signaling to you Steen hasn't done enough. I think, knowing Stout, one of the things Stout says is, he wants all those wheels synchronized. And so if it's up to him, he's not rotating guys every day. And so Steen has to solidify himself there. And this is one of those where don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. If there's other guys mixing in at right guard, that's a concern. To answer the second part of the question, Kenyon Green has that opportunity here, playing with Stoutland, but I thought they were going to give him more of a chance during the spring. He was almost exclusively left guard during the spring and down the depth chart as opposed to high on the depth chart. That makes me think that this is going to be Steen's job to lose.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's go big picture for a second, because, look, this group, you have some teams that win, and you can feel the ego and the fatness, right?
Yeah.
Fat on success. I don't feel it with this team. Obviously all 90 guys in camp, no contract issues. I think Howie's done a great job of the roster about, bringing guys back and kind of formulating this thing. I get the sense that they feel like this mission to do it again. that they
Yeah.
seem driven. Now, again, it's from afar.
Yeah, and this is a fascinating coaching dynamic for Nick Sirianni this offseason. How does he navigate this? And I spent time talking to Nick about it during the spring. I had a piece up on allphly.com last week about this. And Nick is going to be deliberate in he's not going to use the term repeat. He
Right.
doesn't want that. And he spent a lot of time talking to coaches in other sports about this type of scenario. And he says the pitfalls that they run into is when they rest on their laurels too much or when they look too far ahead too much. So that's going to be the talking point from Nick. But invariably, right, they had the ring ceremony the other night. Week 1 against the Cowboys, that banner is going to come down at the link. They can't control the questions that come in. You know how this works. These national reporters come through and it's can you repeat? And you just look at, if you go to Bet Parks and you go to any of the betting places and you look at the odds, the Eagles are up there for odds on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
again.
number 1.
So I think they're in good position to do it. You got to see about health, but I think Nick's main point of emphasis here is going to be not focusing on last year. And one of the things, so just as a frame of reference, 2018, you had Doug Peterson saying this is the new normal. And I remember vividly, Malcolm Jenkins goes to Peterson before the first game of the season and says, you need to take all the Super Bowl stuff off the walls in the locker room. Like, we are thinking too much about last year. This can't be about last year. And so, I know you got a great coach coming on next. Coaches know how to navigate this. But a big point of success, like they can learn from St. Joe's Prep, is like figuring out how to sustain success. The term that Nick keeps using is sustained success. And I think that's really going to be the big point of emphasis from Nick during these next few weeks.
Yeah, you know what it is that when you're reminded about last year,
yeah,
it's in the back of your mind, right? It's in we're human beings, right? And it's in the back of a player's mind. Like, well, all right, well, I know I got it in us, right? And so there's a part of you that feels like it can always rely on that. When in truth, that's gone. That was yesterday. In the same way you forget a losing season, a fresh start, you need to attack this the same exact way, which is this is a fresh start, right? Last year does not exist anymore. It was a memory, a good one. That's it.
That's a great point because too many teams sometimes they become flip a switch teams, right? Where they think like, all right, you're 5-5. We can just flip a switch right now. And to an extent, that's what you saw with the Eagles in 18 and 19. Totally. And it doesn't work that way. I mean, Shaq used to be able to do it. Brady could do it. It's hard to be able to flip the switch. So yeah, that's going to be a big point there. And I'm fascinated to see how they navigate that.
Yeah, I am too. I think that's where that's Nick's strength. He's, we talk about high EQ and a team that really loves him and respects him. And I think that's going to be how he navigates this thing. And I like the fact that he won't use the word repeat. As much as we could joke around, it's camp repeat and that sort of thing. He's going to be looking at it like, nah, man, that's over with.
Yeah. Now I will use it, and other reporters will use it. But yeah, Nick's that's going to be Nick's big point, and that's part of the ring ceremony last Friday. Was all right. Put that to bed. Move on to this year.
Yeah, I like the fact the way they did it. Yeah, you're gonna have one more, like you said, the opener, and it's Cowboys and the banner. It's gonna be awesome. And then I can hear Nick. I can hear it in my mind's eye right now, going, "All right, that's it. No more fresh start. Let's go. New season. We got a job to do. Let's do it."
Exactly. Yeah. So Nick and Howie they'll talk tomorrow, and I think that's exactly what they're gonna say.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that, brother.
Look forward to it.
Like always, you'll be joining us every day. Camp report. We love the Z-Berm camp report. So love you, buddy. Let's go. It's here.
Appreciate you, Anthony. Appreciate you, VG. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man.
Here he is. He's excited.
Oh, he got all like chesty up into the camera when he was talking about it. He's ready to go.
I love it. I love it. And it's that dose of football that's here, right? It's hot. Coach is wearing the hat, the floppy hats, right?
Yeah. The bucket hats?
The bucket hats, right? Everybody, I love it. Yesterday, I had a blast, right? Because St. Joe's Prep is having its annual football camp for youth players. And so I spent the day there, and it was so great. Like, it's just football oozing, 150 kids, right? They're all over the place. There's Kyle McCord. He came right from throwing with A.J. Brown, right, to talk to the kids.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
He's looking strong there, too.
Right,
yeah.
right. Really cool. Right?
Great gym shorts.
Yeah. It's a cool thing. And that's why that prep thing. So I love Tim Roken, who is the coach at St. Joe's Prep. He spoke to these kids, and, he's from Philadelphia. He's from right here in the streets, like the whole thing. Has presided over one of the top programs in the country, right? Like incredible players that we'll get into. But more is about the messaging. I'm a big fan of coaches, right? Because I love great coaches can be great artists and great messaging.
Yeah. Mentors.
Right. Like it's so important, especially at the high school and college level.
For sure.
Like Matt was like that. Matt and I became friends because I respected what Matt's messaging was to those kids at Temple, because it's a mind game. The whole thing's about a mind game. So I'm listening to Coach Tim Roken talk yesterday, and I'm like, I gotta have him on, man. I gotta get him to tell the audience and amplify that message that he gave yesterday. And we have Coach Roken with us. Yo, there he is, live from camp. Good morning, my man. Oh, you're muted. Timmy, you're muted.
You're good. I got you.
Yeah,
what's up, guys,
perfect.
man?
Yeah,
there we are.
Coach?
Hey,
we're fired up today. We got 200 kids out here again today. This is unbelievable. Our coaches are fired up. Our players are excited to work with the future of hopefully St. Joe's Prep here. And, the kids are grinding right now. It's great.
You got to tell everybody what you told the kids yesterday. I was trying to record it, but the sound, I was off an iPhone and I was off. It was so, I thought, powerful, poignant, and it's a message that needs to be out there.
Yeah, no, listen, I spoke a lot to the kids yesterday. Even though I showed up today, I was thankful I had a voice, day 2 of camp. Usually this is a time where I'll lose it a little bit, as the week goes on. But because I just get so fired up for to be able to work with the youth here in the city and in the area, and all the kids coming from all over to come and be around us is pretty special. And the numbers were overwhelming yesterday. So excited to be out here again today. But I think my main message to those guys, in which I know you guys just talked about Kyle a little bit, is very similar to kind of what Kyle gave. Like, two things we ask of these guys, and I think it can be said in many ways in life, is just effort and discipline, right? And giving great effort is number one. Like, if you can bring that to the table, then we're gonna coach you up on a lot of other things. And discipline is another piece. Like, when I talk about discipline, it's less about me telling you to touch the line or run through the line or do a drill a certain way. It's you taking ownership for it and it becoming important to you. Right, like we believe, a player-led team will beat a coach-led team anytime. And listen, we got a lot of great coaches and we can draw up a lot of great plays. But when the kids take ownership, right, for what they're doing, it can make us a lot better in a faster amount of time. And that's where we're at right now. With, I know you guys just wrapped up and talking about Sirianni and the Eagles, and where they are coming off a Super Bowl season and a championship. And we're in that same mode right now. Like, I don't want to hear about last year, right? Like, I love how they hand out the rings at this point of the year. We get handed out ours at the end of May, and it's like, all right, I want to see them. You can wear them for a little bit, but we got to get back to work. And, you can learn from lessons from the year before, but, this is every year has every team has a 1-year life expectancy, right? So we got some new faces as coaches. We got a new group of seniors as leaders. We got new underclassmen coming up that have no idea what they're about to get into. And we got to do this thing all over again. So it's not just show up and we're St. Joe's Prep and we're just going to win ball games. It takes a lot of time in the off season. And we worked through that up until this point. We got our youth camp this week and trying to, take that message over into the youth around here in the area and develop them for their seasons. And then we're going to take a little bit of a break here before we come back in August for our camp.
Well, I got to tell you, what's so impressive is being around your kids, your players. A kid like Saka, who came back yesterday to work the camp before he goes to Notre Dame, right? Here he is, and every one of these kids, Haskell, Charles, Folk, right? All these kids, respectful, right? Working with the kids. There is a beautiful mindset as the way these kids really act and comport themselves.
No, I think that's a blessing we have as coaches at this level. Is you're dealing with young men that are in the formative years of their lives, so you get an opportunity to really make an impact on their lives and better their futures. And there's a lot of great lessons you can learn through this great game that can apply to your life. It can apply to them in the classroom. Like I tell our guys all the time, you want to show up to practice, or you're not going to show up to a game and not have prepared. All right, so like you shouldn't show up to the classroom. Right, and you shouldn't show up to take a test if you're not prepared, right? So that correlates, right? That works its way over. Same thing in their lives and in being successful is, there's a lot of great life lessons you can learn through this game, about accountability and holding yourself accountable and holding the people around you accountable, especially when you're working part of a team, to make each other better. We do the same as coaches. I've been here since 2010. I had an unbelievable mentor in Gabe Infante I worked with for 9 years here. And we have a good group of our coaches that have been here for the same amount of time. So, and then we have 9, which I'm pretty proud of right now within this program, is we have 9 coaches within our freshman through varsity that have played for us. So guys that, when I was 23 and started here, I grew up in the Northeast. I went to Archbishop Bryan. I knew of the prep, but then being here, you're coaching football. You coach what coach what I came from, at East Stroudsburg University. And now I'm here, and you get to learn what the prep way is. But now we have guys that are coaching that are the older brother, right? But they also walk the hallways too, and they understand the commitment that we have done and the success they've had. And it's getting our guys to understand that we're in a place that we are right now, like we talk about, past years, in the success we've had in the state of Pennsylvania. We're in the spot we are now because of the men that came before us. Right. But the future is watching, and that's these guys right now. So, they're watching every single one of our moves and how our guys interact with each other, how they work. And, that's what we want to present when people watch us on television or they watch us, on the field and games is, hey, what are they going to walk away and say about you as a team? So,
you know what I love too? Like every one of those kids that I've met, they shake your hand the right way, look in the eye. They're, yes sir, no sir type of kids. Just wonderful. Like that sort of thing as a parent, I love that. I love the way that's how the youth is supposed to be raised.
No, absolutely. It's being held accountable and it's holding yourself accountable and then being respectful to others. There's a lot of people, as I tell those kids yesterday at the end of the day, make sure you go home and you thank your parents, thank your coaches, however you found a way to get here today. Right, like make sure you understand how much people you can show, your appreciation to people in just those little ways. Right, looking them in the eye, shaking their hand, saying hello to them when they walk down the street, and it's everybody all the guys love to wear our gear, and it's like you represent more than just yourself. Right, you represent your family, right, in your name. You're also representing the community of St. Joe's Prep and all the alumni that have been here. So you represent a big group that's bigger than yourself. So understand that when you're wearing our apparel and wearing our gear, and it's representing, understand what your brand is, right? You want to people want to, understand what you're about. And I think and having guys like Kyle and Anthony come back yesterday was great. We're going to have one of our coaches who played at Bucknell and at Rutgers, had a great career for us. Brandon Sanders, who's working with the receivers for us. He's going to talk to the kids today. So it's been great to bring back some alumni and see them around. And, and being here since 2010, I mean, having the amount of alumni that I've got to be a passenger kind of in their journey here in their 4 years has been pretty special. And, that's what we're trying to do here. We're going to coach football and we're going to coach at a high level and we're going to be competitors. But, at the end of the day, we got to make sure these guys grow up into being great young men and for the future of their life.
Hey, just to look ahead to the season real quick.
Yeah.
American heritage, right? With Raja Bell's son, who's ranked top 3 quarterback in the country. He's going to Texas. You got St. Francis, a top 10 team in the country. You got DeMatha, right? Like, and then, of course, then you got to go to your league with the LaSalles of the world, right? Like, that's a no joke schedule.
No, absolutely. Listen, that's the kind of the cookie cutter recipe we've always followed here. Has been, listen, we're going to go compete against the best if we want to figure out who we are. And the recipe in playing those out of state opponents and trying to find the best competition. As a young 23, 24-year-old, and we were on the other end of it sometimes is kind of looking around like, why are we doing this to ourselves? But you realize you learn so much about yourself as a coach. You learn so much about yourself as a team and what needs to get fixed. And your guys come back and play with a ton of confidence when they come back into the league because they played against some of the best around from the country. So, we've been 3-0 and won a state title in those games. We've been 1-3 and won a state title. So, we've been on both ends of it. And for us, it's, hey, we're going to go figure out who we are and what we're about. And then when we circle back to the Catholic League, then it's trying to make the path towards, hopefully having the opportunity to win another state title. But, we got to take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time. I'll take one from Sirianni here. Listen to him talk about stacking days and stacking weeks. We all take off of one another, and I love his messaging and how he uses for the guys. And, and try to obviously what we want to relay to our guys right now too. We're in the same boat.
But another thing I love is that you guys do, if you're a captain, you wear 10, and it's a sacred number. And Alex Haskell, who's going to Penn State, great kid, great family. He's got 10 this year. That's pretty cool.
He's actually right behind me right here, working with the young guys right now. Haskell there. But yeah, no, he's going to wear 10 this year. No, it's been a special number within our program. It's kind of like, as if you watch one of our games, you should walk away and be like, man, 10's a special player, right? If you're preparing as a coach, and you should know where 10 is on the field at all times. And then obviously within our program, it's somebody that does things the right way, not only on the field, but off the field in the classroom. Alex is a 3.9 GPA, at a very, very challenging academic institution. He handles himself. He's the first one there, the last one to leave. He does a great job of leadership within his defensive line group and within our defense. So, he's the war daddy this year, and obviously everybody should know where 10 is on the field.
That's right. That's right. And then you got you got the hookup, Folk to Harrison, yet another Harrison, Jet Harrison, who's Marvin's other son, along with Marvin Jr. And that's terrific. Charlie comes back as your quarterback. That's going to be a fun hookup for you guys.
Yeah, no, those two have built a special relationship. Obviously having Kyle here yesterday, we had some special memories with him and Marvin Jr. when they were both here. And then kind of seeing where Charlie and Jet's relationship is built to at this point and continuing to grow. And Charlie going to be a junior and Jet just going to be a sophomore. They're a pretty special group. But I tell you what, they do a great job of leading the whole offense, in our team. Jet's really grown up in just kind of the first year, as a freshman last year. And, being our leading receiver as a freshman was pretty special. But just his intensity in the weight room, his attention to detail on the field, how he's kind of more of a leader now instead of a guy just that works by example. And Charlie kind of in that same boat. Now he's got the confidence having 1 year under his belt. He's got a different sense of, just urgency at the line of scrimmage and command, which is what you want at that position.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, Coach, I love you guys, man. You are just great way to represent Philadelphia. So thanks for what you do. It's a beautiful, great camp. So thanks for all your hard work, buddy. And we'll be talking once the season gets underway.
Absolutely. I love to come down to the studio. Appreciate everything you guys doing, what you do for Philadelphia and sports. And I got to go work with Massimo here, right? Get him going here. So I got you, man.
Thanks, brother.
Be tough on him. Be tough on him.
I'll see you guys.
Yep. Coach Tim Roken. Yes. Make sure. Tough on that kid. That kid needs it. Oh, my God. We are in OT, overtime. That's right. Overtime. Love
He
it.
seems pretty cool for a Ryan guy.
Yeah,
I was looking him up. We didn't get a chance. We were running up an OT, but he's got a third all time in the discus throw at Ryan.
get out. I
Yeah,
didn't
he's a
know that.
discus guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're man, that Jet Harrison, man. Yeah, what a name for a receiver, Jet.
Oh,
Is that not perfect?
It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Like, you can't make it up. That he's probably the number one receiver for his class, I would think.
Yeah, he's top.
Yeah.
He's top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
I think he's ranked 6
Yeah.
right now in the country. But
It's wild in the Philadelphia
He's
community.
gonna be a
We
sophomore.
have 2 young guys named Jet.
yeah,
It's
right,
wild, right?
right. That's right. And then we were talking about that about Alex Haskell.
Yeah.
He's going to Penn State,
Wow.
and what a kid! What a kid! Great family. I was talking to his father yesterday. Great family. Just what a player, and go to PSU. They were all after him. Ohio State was after him.
Yeah.
Michigan was after him. Went for visits, and he's like, listen. He goes, I love Penn State. Syracuse. Oh, I know offered a ton of money, and he was like, I'm going to Penn State.
I mean, I hear there's something cooking at Penn State. That's what I hear.
Dude.
I hear this is the year. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard it.
I know, dude.
But
It's pretty cool, man. It really is. Like, I can't wait for all this stuff because we got all football everywhere. You got some nugs for me?
Yeah, we could do some nugs.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about, speaking of young kids, there's a 14-year-old making some headways in flag football. The under 14 and under flag football championships happen.
Right.
This kid, Bryson White.
Okay.
I think he's like 6'4".
One-hander. This is just a jump ball from Dalton Motes. Watch the catch. Oh, my God. And
So
to
he's got
complete the
31
route through the
D1 off
contact even
14.
before that.
That is the end of the.
That is truly unbelievable.
He's 6'4".
He's 14.
Oh, my God. The way he
Size of the
runs.
rest of those people.
That catch was absurd.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, speaking of absurd size, too. So Jokic is 7 foot.
Yep.
I think he comes in at 290. There's a picture of him sitting next to his brother. His brother looks like he's 7'5", like 400 pounds next to him.
Oh, my God. I saw that picture, too.
Brother's scary looking.
He is frightening.
Yeah, with the mohawk.
He's the dude
You're gonna,
in one of those movies.
yeah, you're gonna take some pliers and
Like,
cut your
what I
fingers
saw-
off,
I
your
saw-
pinky off, or something.
Den of Thieves 2, right?
Oh, he'd be in that movie.
And Den of Thieves 2 is about, like they're in like France and they're stealing diamonds, right? And you're dealing with the Albanians and right, like all those. And that's that Russian, the
Yes,
Albanian,
dude.
Eastern
Yes.
European. Look at that. Like, if that's the dude that comes after you,
Yeah.
the Jokic brothers, that's why they get in
I
fights
know.
all the time, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'd
who
be
would
fighting
fight
all the
that
time.
dude?
If I was that guy, that big, I'd be fighting all
No,
the
but
time.
here's the point. Who wants to fight that dude?
Right.
Because you know that dude's he'll kill you. You better kill that guy or you're done.
His hands are all tatted off. He's ready to
Yeah.
go.
The tatted hands, man. That's when you know you're
Yeah, next
hardcore.
one. The guy's got no interest in finding regular work. He's just, I'm
Right, when
tatting my
when
hands
your
up.
hands are all tatted up
Yeah.
and they're the size,
Yeah, yeah.
He'd crush his skull.
My
That hand,
God.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, did you see this weekend Acuna's throw?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, we went nuts over it. We were in South Carolina for a
insane.
baseball tournament,
yeah.
and we were all talking about it.
Yeah, it was insane. So last night, he goes from first to home on a single.
Ground ball, get through there. It will. And Baldwin drives in another run. Ronald's coming home.
Wow.
Safe.
Wow,
Base running from Acuna.
The
He's
stats
such a
on
great
him since he's
player,
come
man.
back, he is the best player in baseball since he's come back.
Yeah, he's such a great player. He just does everything, man.
Yes. Dude, that's
I mean,
throw.
that throw was
He
unreal.
didn't even step into it, really.
No.
Just launched it.
I mean, you're going from the furthest part of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I've
unbelievable.
never seen anything like that in my lifetime, but
I mean,
I didn't see
you
the
can
old heads.
and it was on a rope,
Right to it, dude.
like to the point where he's
Yeah.
attacking. And runner's like, what? How did I just get thrown out?
Yeah, dude.
It was a scene.
There's no way he believed the ball was in the glove when he got tagged.
I love, like, that's a superhuman feat.
Yes. Dude, totally superhuman.
One day I want to do
Just
that.
a casual. He just turned around and launched it.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
So this is going to get you fired up. I did not know. Do you know where Rob Ryan is? Coach Rob Ryan?
No.
He is now assistant defensive coach and linebackers coach at USC. And he's getting his USC linebackers fired up, getting ready for the season.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, you might take this.
Fire killers ready! Ready!
I'm pretty sure he said, "Are my killers ready?"
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said that.
Are my killers ready? Oh, my God. That's awesome.
These people are lunatics.
I love, but that's where the hair all out, like his hat off, right? Like, are my killers ready? That's how we come on. How do you not love football? Like, listen, we love every sport for what it is.
Yeah.
But like this only happens in football.
Oh, yeah.
Are my killers ready?
They're like on the ground.
Yeah.
Crawling around.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to do Jerry Jones making news yesterday, taking shots at his quarterback and his best defensive player. I love this.
Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously.
Oh, my God.
We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott.
I mean,
so there's a lot of things you can think about when you, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
He's unbelievable.
I love it.
It's who has that? Who has that take as an owner?
Right.
Like, you think about that. You're out your best defensive, your quarterback, who you desperately needed last year. You were a joke without Dak Prescott last year, and you're like, what are you doing with Parsons?
I don't know
like,
what he's doing.
God, he's taking over the Cowboys because
it's been
he
the
has
biggest
driven them off a cliff.
Yeah, he had his run, but it's been worth it. We give him his years 90.
Well, ever since he took over and Jimmy left,
yes, disaster.
He has driven them off a cliff.
So, JJ Watt retweeted out this little blurb, and JJ Watt says, "Anytime you can publicly take a dig at your star quarterback and your star pass rusher simultaneously right before the season begins, you just got to take it. Nothing makes guys want to fight for you more than hearing how upset you are that they got hurt while fighting for you."
That's it. And with the damage that does around the league, we were talking about. In fact, they made the point on the broadcasts, Phillies. It was, I don't know if the Phillies broadcast I was watching another game, and somebody should have made the All-Star team. It was ESPN Sunday night, Tigers game, and it was from the Rangers, and they paid him his $100,000 bonus.
Oh, nice.
It was who's a right-hander? He's having a great year. I just slipped my mind. Anyway, he should have been on the team.
That's the right thing to do.
And you paid him.
Yeah.
And the Phillies started that last year.
Oh, last year they did it?
Yes. With I was Schwarber, who didn't make it, and they paid the bonus out.
All right.
And they were talking about how that resonates across the league.
Mm-hmm.
That players go, yeah, I want to go there. Like they're taking care of me, right? When I should have been an all-star. Everybody knows I should have been an all-star, and I'm getting taken care of.
Yeah, Middleton did that with Sanchez this year. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Paid him his $50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That's the right thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Jerry Jones is the complete opposite.
And the Eagles, what the Eagles have done in paying out bonuses and making a great play, a destination, is it any wonder that, it's just a matter of time before Micah comes here?
I looked through the Eagles starters, offense and defense. There's only one player that's a free agent after this year.
I mean,
Nakobe Dean.
Yeah,
so,
with how he's done managing the roster, it's pretty it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
All right, before we get out of here, Nick Sirianni showed up at the gala to get the rings. My man's doing everything right these days. He looked fantastic. Nice suit, but his shoes, his kicks. He shows up with some solid Nikes, little green in them. I would like a pair of these for game days if I go tailgating.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, Nicky, he looks great.
He looks great.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fresh haircut.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Looking good. All right, we got a back in the day?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's go to our back in the day.
We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back in the day.
So nothing overly exciting. We're going back to the first day of training camp, 7-on-7 drills, 2017, because little did we know where that year would take us. And Doug Peterson, there's just little sounds of that first day of training camp.
Look at that, the sky, low-hanging sky.
Guys, away from the clock for me. Got it.
Son. What's up?
Carson's voice.
Yeah, but no one knew where we'd be partying on Broad Street the other season.
How about him retiring?
Yeah,
Well, you know, I love that. You want to talk about one of the most disappointing careers ever? Is Wentz. That's nuts.
it's soft.
That he, like, not that you're a bust, right? Because there's a million busts.
Yeah.
But that you had that arc up only to just go into oblivion.
Yeah. Completely
nuts,
completely
dude.
imploded.
Crazy. He's retired. Out.
He's not at KC this year? No?
No, he's
Oh,
retired.
done. All right.
Yeah, he's done.
Wow.
Amazing. Anyway, we bid you a farewell.
Good to have you back,
First
buddy.
day at camp, man. Fire it up. Here we go. It's on LFG. See you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.